two things for the committee. I know we don't have busloads of people coming up to the Capitol asking us to do what the legislative auditor recommended. You know, we don't have a loud group coming in and suggesting we should follow the OLA. But they've done some very good work. This is coming from a report from last year, Madam Chair. And so what I want to do is, again, you've got a packet with Positively Minnesota at the top. And I want to ask members to look at page 3 of that packet, which shows all these individual directly appropriated funds from the legislature to these programs. And so what we talked about in our committee this week, Madam Chair and members, was, you know, we could keep doing this. We could keep doing, you know, identifying each single program, giving them a line item, $750,000 here, $1 million there, and we could shave that amount to meet our target, or we could do what the legislative auditor had suggested, Madam Chair. And so now I'm going to ask you to flip back to page 1. And here was a couple findings. You'll see them in the bullet points. The legislative auditor recommended that the legislature should not mandate grant recipients in law, but instead allow the selection of recipients through a competitive process administered by deed. And then the second bullet there, deed should more consistently monitor recipients of legislative appropriations and develop an equitable way of funding its monitoring activities. Madam Chair, I think there's a little bit in this bill and in this particular provision that gets the legislature, gets us a couple steps away from the past practice of what I would call earmarking. This is as close to what the state legislature has done in earmarking specific programs with specific amounts of money. We have ended up, members, with dozens of programs, good programs. You will know many of them. Job training, workforce development. But according to the legislative auditor and others, they've gotten away from us. And so what we want to do is give them some more structure and framework, and also benchmark and measure how are these programs doing. The best programs, I would argue, could get more money, receive more funding through this new competitive kind of merit-based program. But admittedly, it's changing the way we do business, and I know there's some discomfort with how we're going to make this transition and how quick can we do it, and our committee is committed to continue to work on making sure that's smooth, Madam Chair. But I would argue that this puts together a strong framework for these kind of programs going into the future, and it will provide policymakers like you with a way to measure how are these programs doing. So I thank you for giving me a few minutes just to highlight that some more, Madam Chair.